rushers in 4 playoff games is really good.
Yeah.
So is this a fair criticism?
No. This is where we all lose the plot a bit. You're right. If you're trailing in a playoff game, teams will try to run on you. The goal is to be ahead in a playoff game and let Micah Parsons tee off on the opposition while they're trying to come back. The other thing is this. Quarterback wins, we can argue about the validity of it. Defensive end wins, we cannot. And
Can I stop you there for a question for just a second? Because I am a quarterback wins guy. But TJ Watt is 0-4. Yeah, and they have that great record. Myles Garrett is 1-2.
Myles Garrett dragged them to the playoffs.
Quarterbacks?
I understand, but if you're paying game changer money and you're not getting I'm just wondering, how come these star players?
Aaron Donald went to 2 Super Bowls, and Bruce Smith went to 4 straight, and Reggie White helped the Packers finally get over the hump, and Lawrence Taylor, I think, played.
Lawrence Taylor was great. Oh, I don't think Micah Parsons is Lawrence Taylor.
No, but that's putting Micah Parsons and Lawrence.
No,
and I don't think it's Reggie White.
Okay, well.
I'm just saying, why don't they pop in the playoffs?
So I guess my point is, but I think that's selective. I don't think it's fair because Aaron Donald and Chris Jones have been to 7 Super Bowls in the last 8 years. So those guys, is it because a great pass rushing D tackle
when he had a quarterback?
Both times, yeah.
With Chris Jones with?
He's with Mahomes, yes.
Okay.
Of course. But that's the point.
Is you need a great quarterback.
But can I also?
There's the only thing. I'm not trying to start a fight for real. It feels like those pass rushers are dominant and can will you to victory in the regular season, and in the playoffs it's less effective.
Yeah, I guess the point that I would make is if you have the quarterback, you need a game-wrecking defensive player on the other end to marry it together to win, or a great totality of the defense. And just real quick before you go, Coach, here's Micah Parsons in the playoffs. Because the reality is, but when I say Micah Parsons, what I really mean is they're saying all he does is affect the passing game. The Cowboys have played 4 playoff games in Micah Parsons' career. Jordan Love lit him up. Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady, and Brock Purdy, that's what the opposing 4 passing offenses did. They scored less than 20 points per game. The Brady numbers are a little fraudulent because they were down 31-0, and then they started, scoring with 15 minutes left in that game. So Micah and the Cowboys' pass defense in 3 of the 4 playoff games has been excellent. So, listen, everyone was bad for the Cowboys in the Packer game. No one can deny that. But hanging that to me on Micah is crazy, Coach.
Yeah, and I don't think this executive, I know he mentions the playoffs, but the conversation about Micah, and nobody really wants to talk about this either, is if you want an elite pass rusher, he is an elite pass rusher. But the question is, where does he come in on the running game? And if you don't care about how he plays against the running game, then that's fine. But when you look at how he's been rated against the running game, it hasn't been very good. So with elite pass rushers, if you're going to use them in that role, then that's great. But typically, if you can run at those guys and force them to play the run, that becomes an issue. Just like with a cover corner, if you can force that guy to tackle, then that becomes an issue. And I think it's very different than Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack had 12 less sacks than Micah Parsons over the first 4 years, okay, which is what, three sacks a year. But he was really stout against the run. He could set the edge, and he was a complete player. He wasn't the same level of pass rusher. I totally agree with that, but he was a more complete player.
Teams have run at Bosa.
So this is not to knock the impact that Micah can have in the passing game. It's just to say that the completeness of it at times is questionable and can be problematic.
Yeah. I think we're kind of missing the forest for the trees here. For many reasons. This is a little all over the place, honestly. First and foremost, the Packers are getting Micah Parsons to continue to make their defense as complete as possible. He is another piece in this puzzle for this Packers team. When you are a team that's like the Packers, where you've made it to the playoffs for a handful of years, like you know, year after year, you're a pretty good team, and that you can get there. You're looking for ways how to take another big step forward. And adding a piece like Micah Parsons is that it's not like you need to zero in so much and just be like, well, how's he versus the run game? How's he with this? How's that? And like now we're trying to downplay the importance of a pass rush. I mean, if the way how you slow down Micah Parsons is to run the ball, well, then you could say that's a positive then in a lot of ways. If you're going up against Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, right? Like if you're just forcing teams to just run the ball rather than pass the ball, right? If you're so afraid of Micah Parsons that you're like, well, we start to run more heavy in the playoffs, he becomes less scary. Like, in one way, you could use it as an argument. Then that's kind of a victory then, because then if you're passing the ball, well then hey, you're in trouble. But like, let's make no mistake about it, the Philadelphia Eagles. Their pass rush got to Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. That was huge. The Philadelphia Eagles completely disrupted Jaden Daniels. That was huge. The pass rush completely got after Patrick Mahomes. That was huge. So I don't understand why all of a sudden we're downplaying this. Aaron Donald and Von Miller against Los Angeles, with the Los Angeles Rams, their pass rush was huge. Like, I don't understand. The Eagles in 22 could not get to Patrick Mahomes famously. That was huge. That was huge. I do think it's football can be so tricky, man. It can be so weird, right? We elevate sacks as so important. And if a player gets like 10 sacks a season, we're like, that's awesome. But it's like kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, someone averages, like, let's say someone averages 1 sack a game. Again, that would be massive, right? If Micah Parsons gets 16, 17 sacks year after year after year, they'd be like, this is one of the greatest things we've ever seen. But it is weird, because if he just gets like 1 sack a game, it's like, all right, 2nd and 15 now on the 40, and it doesn't feel like it's like, okay, does that really do much? So to me, I've never really thought too heavy about sacks, except for when they obviously happen in key moments. Like that's the thing, right? But it's more about the disruption. The disruption. To me, for people who never really, gave this as much thought, I think the most recent game we have is, of course, the Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl. You can see how disruptive a pass rush can be, getting to the quarterback, just making the quarterback uncomfortable. By definition, you are making their job harder. At the end of the day, that's actually all you're asking of Micah Parsons to do. I just need you to make the job harder for the quarterback, whatever that may be, or minimize the impact that a quarterback has, because we're like, we're going to run the ball now more. Like, that is a net positive. But again, if this Packers team was looking to make Micah Parsons the leader of the team, like on the field, in the sense of, when I mean leader now, I mean like a defensive led team, or whatever, like the Eagles were led by Saquon Barkley, people will say like, yeah, then you would maybe run yourself into some trouble here. But that's not what the Packers are looking to do. They're looking to build a complete team. So they're trying to check off all the boxes. And the Packers were great at stopping the run last year. I think they had a top 10 rushing defense. Yeah. They were top 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were top 7. They were actually better than the Chiefs. Average yards per carry is 4. And the average is around like 4.5, 4.4. It kind of fluctuates a little bit. So I don't know. Are we saying that now adding Micah Parsons, their defense is going to somehow like weaken? I guess. Like I don't know, man. I mean, I know running is getting important again, because it is. It's I think I think what 2024 was all about and going into 25 is that we kind of fell out of balance in the NFL world. It was just, we became so obsessed with passing, putting up as many points as possible. Defense isn't as important as it once was. The rules change, etc., etc. Get after it. And then we realized, like, you know what? Like, defense is actually a lot more important. And you know what? So is running the ball too. And I think we're kind of back now, and it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts, that we're back to being like, you know what the best way to play football is? Really balanced. Having a really, really productive defense. Having a balanced offense where you throw the ball 25 times, 30 times, and you run the ball the rest. Like, it's just like, let's be balanced here. And especially defensively now, if more teams are going to be balanced, then you need to have a balanced defense. It can't be all or nothing on one side in terms of trying to get after the quarterback or, stopping the run, stopping big plays. You need to be able to kind of do a little bit of everything. So, again, I don't look at the Green Bay Packers as making a move like this and saying, we have a massive Micah Parsons-shaped missing piece here that we need to get this guy in here. We get him here, boom. I don't see the Packers as this like missing piece here, this missing link. They're like, we're a great team and we just need to be better. Or we're a good team and we're trying to become great. We're a great team and we're trying to become elite. That's the way I view it. Look at it. I keep using the Eagles as a reference point. I'm sorry, but it's just because it's, like I said, they're the ones that just won the Super Bowl. Their run game was really great without Saquon Barkley. They didn't have this void that they were like, we need to fill it with Saquon. They were like, no, we're a great team, but we need to be even better. So they're like, let's get Saquon. To me, that's a level of move that the Packers did with Micah. It's different. You can make the argument like a team like the Baltimore Ravens were lacking a true rushing attack outside of Lamar Jackson. So they're like, let's get Derrick Henry. It's kind of just like a different, it's a different move. The Philadelphia Eagles felt like they were missing a true big body wide receiver one. So they went out and got A.J. Brown. To me, the Micah Parsons move is just a little bit different here. And so like, when teams start running heavy in the playoffs, he becomes less scary. I mean, yeah, I feel as though you could almost say that about a lot of these big scary guys who you're most afraid of them in the context of getting to the quarterback, of getting after your quarterback. If you were facing a Von Miller, Aaron Donald, any of these more current guys or the more recent guys of late, Myles Garrett, if you had Patrick Mahomes and Saquon Barkley on the same team, okay, you would fear them getting to Patrick Mahomes, not stopping Saquon Barkley. You would be less afraid about that. And you would say, oh, yeah, if they can stop Saquon, that's fine. As long as Mahomes has an extra quarter of a second in the pocket to throw, it's all we need, baby. Let's go. So, like, I don't know. Unless the NFL turns into like an era where it's just like run, right? Like everyone, it just becomes the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. And you have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Jalen, every single quarterback under the sun is just throwing like 20 times a game. Then, okay, then maybe we can start to change the conversation a bit. But like at the end of the day, the best way to stop the Kansas City Chiefs is to stop Patrick Mahomes. The best way to stop the Buffalo Bills is to stop Josh Allen, to stop Lamar Jackson, right? Like that's how you do it. When the Green Bay Packers rolled the Dallas Cowboys, they could not stop Jordan Love. And Dak Prescott, until the very end of the game, could not do anything. It's how you win. It's how you win. You disrupt the passing game, and that disrupts everything. That disrupts everything. That's why what Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl was so special, because if he was unable to pass the ball, they were stopping the run. If he was not able to flawlessly execute the passing game, you're in trouble. Mahomes could not get the passing game off the ground at all. He did not have time to get the ball out. It changes everything. So I just don't understand why we're trying to now downplay the importance of that. For the life of me, I don't get it. I really don't. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. For the longest time, everyone kept saying, you got it. The most important thing is a quarterback and the guy that can get to the quarterback. Right? Like that. We know the quarterback is the most important position in like all of sports. And the one position that's meant to like actually stop the quarterback, Micah Parsons, like, there you go. The one position that can actually make the job harder for a quarterback. And we're trying to just be like, what happens when you run the ball more in the playoffs? It's like, okay, what happens when you need your quarterback to make a big throw in the playoffs? It's pretty advantageous if you can disrupt him and make it a lot harder for him. Like, we're just going to keep going in circles because I just think statements like this make no sense. Until we enter an NFL where quarterbacks become a little bit more marginalized or hold a lot less power and we are running the ball just nonstop, like what we saw the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, where I think they had like 50 carries. And until that becomes the norm, then we can, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is much ado about nothing. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers? Do you have any concerns about the run game, stopping the run game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.